see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Little darling, your smile is returning to the face. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. 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 You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Now here you go again. You say you want to freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you're feeling. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. And still
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We will be starting shortly, but before the program's commencement, I'd just like you to take note of the safety briefing. In the event of an emergency, the exit is behind you and to the right, so we ask you, in the event of an emergency, please proceed in an orderly fashion to the right behind you. Thank you very much, and we'll be starting shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, would the driver of PEA 2463 please move your vehicle? The officers have asked us that they would like your vehicle to be moved. Please, the driver of PEA 2463.
From the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand. High Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge
please welcome the political leader of the United National Congress, the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, SC.
Patient, yeah. Weeping and moaning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the way the night come, so you don't really need to lie down. Them say what goes around comes right back around. I go wait until my time come. So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bust in a sweat. I must climb up. I feel like hope. Trample them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. You see, the Most High never give us more than we can bear, but He give us the strength and the will and the power and the courage to handle our problems through Him. So on the count of 4, I want everybody step on their problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Manhandle them, manhandle them. Dismantle them, dismantle them. Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out their problems, kick out their problems.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome our leader of the opposition, please remain standing for the prayer and the national anthem.
And prayer with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea. This our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Thank you very much. You may have your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, This evening, we are in the constituency of Trinidad and Tobago's first female Prime Minister, the constituency of the Commonwealth's first female chair in office. We are in the constituency for our best Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar. We are in Siparia this evening. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago joining us tonight, wherever you are, online, on the television, and right here. To this evening, we welcome you to the Leader of the Opposition's pre-budget consultation. Yet again, the Leader of the Opposition continues to put the people of this nation at the heart of development. Earlier this year, she had the anti-crime talks, putting you, the people of this country, at the center of securing our nation. Now, she has been engaging in the pre-budget consultations to ensure that you, the people of this country, have a voice, have a say in the most important issue facing us right now, the management of our economy. Brothers and sisters, in the last 2 months, the Leader of the Opposition has ensured that the UNC and its members of Parliament have been engaged in pre-budget consultations night after night, touching all 39 constituencies of Trinidad. I want you to give a round of applause for the Leader of the Opposition and her team. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past month, the UNC has engaged the members of labor. We have engaged the members of the civil society. We have engaged youth, women, members of the education sector, and every single community in this country, because the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar cares about your way of life. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we join you for this pre-budget consultation held by the Leader of the Opposition, I want you to understand, if you are looking at us from wherever you are in Trinidad and Tobago, that the Leader of the Opposition is not just joining us as the UNC leader. She is joining us with a sterling track record of leading the most people-centered development in Trinidad and Tobago. All of Kamla Persad Bissessar's budgets have led to development that has protected and preserved this nation in the last 9 years. I want you to remember, it was her children's hospital that provided healthcare during COVID, and even today. It was her incentives of the 2013 budget that allowed for Angeline and Juniper to produce oil and gas, the only significant oil and gas in the last 9 years. It was the budgets of Kamla Persad Bissessar that delivered over 100 schools, delivered your Debe Law Campus, and did not deliver a single new tax. So ladies and gentlemen, Kamla Persad Bissessar, SC, Leader of the Opposition, joins you this evening with a sterling vision to listen to your views as she journeys to save and rebuild this country. Brothers and sisters, we have a very powerful lineup of speakers this evening. The first speaker is a community activist, a community giant. He's an alderman. And recently, he has been leading the charge against dengue in this region, in our country. I want you to welcome a former senior manager at Petrotrin. He might be small, but he's a giant of a man in service. Let us welcome Alderman Gautam Maharaj, Chairman of the Penal Debe Regional Corporation.
Okay, whoever invented that timer certainly did it for politicians. Yeah. Good afternoon, all members of Parliament, members of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union. We shall overcome. Beautiful people of Siparia, and most importantly, our opposition leader, member of Parliament for Siparia, and the best Prime Minister that Trinidad and Tobago has ever had, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar. What better living example of the voice of the people is the voice of God than this gathering here today. It is the vision of Kamla Persad Bissessar on the democratic principles by which the UNC operates to be able to meet with the people, and not just meet, but your voices, your input will find its way into the hallowed walls of the Parliament in the budget submission of the United National Congress and the opposition. What a giant feat that is. And that has occurred already, because at the last budget exercise, that is exactly what took place. And for those who recall, names were actually called, organizations were actually referenced, meaning that your contributions are real and valuable and taken into account through this exercise. I will start with what pains me most. This is nearing the end of August. And in 1 week's time, the registers at the PDRC will be open for people to come and sign up to show interest in jobs. And do you know the numbers that have been reached in recent times in terms of people indicating that they are looking for a 10 days? 500. 500 persons, men, women, young children, single mothers, would show up at the doors of the Pinal-Debe Regional Corporation, waiting in long lines to sign, to hope to get a 10 days job. And that has increased dramatically over the years recently, because of course, it is no secret that some of the major employers have had to close their doors. Some have been shut down, so that all of these people are now on the breadline, and they have families to take care of. Petrotrin right here has been shut down. What social impact assessment has been done to take care of all of the people, all of the families, all of the children that have been victims of that closure? None, none, none. So these people are all unemployed. And together with that, the small business, the roti shops, and all of the other food shops and whatever would have serviced that organization are now been closed, and nothing is in place. Tied to that is the fact that the mainstream education system in this region and throughout Trinidad and Tobago is focused on the academic route. But we know for a fact that there are persons, there are students, there are children who are taken naturally more to the skills and vocational part. And we have absolutely nothing in place for children who are of that interest area. Because Petrotrin has closed down, the apprenticeship program has closed down. So my call, my budget submission today is that we must have an apprenticeship program reopened in this region. In my Emancipation Day speech in La Romaine, when we installed the walls of inspiration on the St. Benedict's High School walls, I made a call for an apprenticeship program to service the La Romaine youths. The councillor for La Romaine is here. Because we are hearing of a waterfront project, but just that you are hearing of. Nothing else. What goes with it has to be done now. It was the UNC that had the plan to take care and to expand on a marina operation, ship repairs, work that we could have been trained up, our young people could have been trained up in, and be able to contribute in a very, very valuable sector, an income earning sector. So that when the UNC get back in government, that is definitely must be a plan. But for now, it is a submission in the budget that we must take care of our young people, because it is unavoidably and inextricably linked to crime. Because when you're unemployed, you're in poverty, you're at home, you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Ideas come into your head. And one of the most graphic examples is the lady who stole the books. No one is saying it is a right action. But when you look at the motive, you look at the context behind it, a child has to go to school and she has nowhere else, and there's no avenues opening up. The government has stymied every possible avenue for employment. Companies are down, as I said. What would people do? Where would they go? So again, I make the call. Open an apprenticeship program. We had an NSC program in Debe. It's shut down. That institution is closed. A little bit of MIC is running in Clark Road. We need more programs in it. Hospitality, tourism. We have an example here of where trade runs, has a booming mechanic business. We can train people in mechanic, in small engine repairs. We have names in Pinal that are big in hairstyling. And Roti Shop, Joy's in Florida, is a product of Mohis Road. We have the capability. We are calling on the government to nurture it and open an apprenticeship program, take care of our youths. I will move on now to the dengue situation, because I know that people are calling for spraying and so on. Dengue treatment needs an integrated insect vector management plan, one which the government and the Ministry of Health has not provided. At the PDRC has submitted a request, a proposal for increased funding. And I should not say increase. Actually, the allocation that has been given at the last budget has not been released as yet for that particular vote. So that we are now stymied. We want to do the education drives. In fact, we are doing bits and bits. We have surpassed 20,000 households in Dynafogging, and that deserves a round of applause, because we have taken the limited resources we have, and we have put 4 teams, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. We care about you, but we have made an appeal to be able to get more funding so we can do the cleanup, we can do the bulk waste. All that matters for us to have a dengue free environment. And we have also been saying that the data should be taken from all of the private medical practitioners, because if not, a treatment plan will be skewed. And that is why we are having more and more deaths in the region. 60% of the region sits in the South Oropouche River Basin. We need infrastructural works also. The development funding, which is supposed to have been released at the beginning of the fiscal year, has been released this month, and you have until September 30th to complete all of those works. So all of those box trains that have been put up, all of those box culverts are now in jeopardy, because if September 30th reaches and you have not completed and sent back the invoice, you lose that money. It goes until taken from the next year's allocation. So I have shared two of the major areas that I would like to be taken into the budget submission. I see my time is up, and I ask that these be taken into it. And I give thanks again to the political leader of the United National Congress for the vision to have this open session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman of the Penal Debe Regional Corporation. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us on live, on the television and so on, you are viewing the leader of the opposition's pre-budget consultation in her constituency of Siparia. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue tonight, I want to remind you of the words of the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar on October 12, 2010, in the budget debate of 2010. And she said to you, Trinidad and Tobago, the only way to govern you is by serving you. And she did that under the budget title, Facing the Issues. And your leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, faced those issues and solved those issues from 2010 to 2015. And that is why she's here again, to listen to you, to solve those issues again when she returns as Prime Minister. Brothers and sisters, we have another very, very, very gigantic speaker, a very fiery individual, a man on the airwaves, a man who has been a veteran in local government. Let us welcome the very first mayor of Siparia, Mr. Dudnat Meru.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar, the best Prime Minister this country has ever seen. The only time that this country was really happy between 2010 and 2015. We hardly know what it is like to be happy now. So that said, good night, my friends. I recognize in the audience here members of Parliament, my member of Parliament for Faizabad, Dr. Lakram Bodo. I see my Deputy Mayor, Councillor Ramona, Councillor Javed is here also. Good night, everyone. I want to start off to deal with some issues affecting the Siparia Borough Corporation. And most of you would have recalled that last year, just before the local government elections, there was a rush to change Siparia from regional corporation to borough status. And we resisted that, and we tried hard to indicate to the government that changing the name of Siparia will not bring any additional benefits to Siparia. And today, I am here with the information that we have, indicating same that we said nothing will happen, we will just be named a borough. So my suggestion is that from borough, we will go to begging. Under the recurrent expenditure for this year, we received an allocation of $81 million. Included in that, we had an allocation of $8 million under the heading Special Programs in Cities, Boroughs, and Regional Corporation. Anybody know what that was about? That was supposed to be the property tax. So when you take out that $8 million from $81 million, you have $73 million under recurrent at the Siparia Borough Corporation. Under the development program, we would have received $22.6 million in allocation. So far, we received $5.5 million under drainage. We received $6 million under roads. Those contracts are presently being awarded, and thank God that we received our allocation and have that money in the bank. So we're not like Penal Debe, where they're rushing to finish their projects by the end of September. We had a number of DP programs where the government have recalled the money. So out of $22.6 million, we received information last week via email that the improvement of market and abattoirs, where we allocated the $1 million to upgrade the Siparia market, will not be forthcoming to the Siparia Borough Corporation. So the Siparia market that the People's Partnership built in 2010 have to run down and reach like the cowshed the PNM had prior to 2010. Under local government building program, they take back $1 million. That is 2 so far. Eh? Under procurement of major vehicles, we had some vehicles we wanted to purchase, a truck, a lowboy truck to pull equipment and so on. The ministry said they're not approving that. So we lost that sum of $800,000. Under disaster preparedness, we had an allocation of $1 million. We were going to start to construct a foundation to build our headquarters for the disaster management unit. And I do have to tell you, when rain fall down in Penal and Siparia, the kind of disaster we just have down here, they take back that $1 million also. Under local government tourism, we had $500,000. We had proposed to beautify in front Owen Park facility and make it like a nice little Brian Lara promenade. They take away that $500,000 too. So much we lost? Under the computerization program, $2 million. They indicated that they're taking back that too. Under the municipal corporation, police station, we were supposed to receive $500,000. We have not received a cent from that. They're taking back that too. Under the local government reform program, they're taking back $1.2 million. So you tell me, you give we $22.6 million and you take back $6.2 million. And you know what the first thing that I say in Parliament when the leader respond? Your corporation didn't spend the money. If we don't get the money, how are we supposed to spend the money? And even so, the allocation that they give we, 22.6 million and the 81 million, is not adequate to meet the demand for services in the region. When you look at what is happening with flooding in the region, they have done nothing with respect to drainage. They give you $500,000 on that drainage program. That have to be shared by 10 shares. So each councillor gets $500,000. Tell me how much drains you could build with $500,000. And then, you know, the councillor getting costs because he build a drain by his partner when he build the drain. But they ain't taking into consideration that it's $500,000 a councillor get to build drain. You get $600,000 to pave road in your area. Tell me how much road can 600,000 pave in an electoral district? You watch the condition of roads in this country. You can't even pave one good road in your region. So I am calling on the Minister of Local Government, the fella who like to swell his chest and walk like he blow up in a tire shop. Send the money to the corporations. Send the money to the corporations. And when you send the money, don't write we and tell we you're taking it back. Here the next thing they do too, there are some allocations that we have not received the funding, the ones they take back. You know if that money come now, we don't have time to spend it because under the procurement legislation, it takes at least a minimum of 6 weeks to award a contract. This is the end of August. So we have 4 weeks. So which means those contracts cannot be awarded and that money goes back to the exchequer. So this government is playing smart with foolishness. Two last things I want to talk on. There's a bridge that collapsed in my area in St. John's Street in Avocat. Next week school opening, children will have to cross a river with a boat to go to school from following week. And Al-Rawi say that costing $6 million. Take the 6 you take from Siparia and build. Take that 6 million. There's a disaster waiting to happen on the cremation site. Anybody go to the cremation site, you will see a major landslip that is occurring at the back. I wrote Faris on that since last year. And like that fella does only read love letter, he don't respond to the mayor letter at all. No response on all the letters. All right, Faris, wake up and let the corporation have what is due to them. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the Mayor of Siparia. We have been joined by two of the very best local government members. Brothers and sisters joining us, especially those watching on tonight from the television and the live, I want you to reflect. Under Kamla Persad Bissessar, budget time was a good time because you know you would have return on investment on the resources that belong to you. You know you would be getting something. In the last 9 years, you wait for the budget in fear. Will there be another fuel price increase? Will there be more unemployment? I want you to remember as you sit in your homes tonight that Kamla Persad Bissessar used her 5 budgets to create 60,000 jobs. She used her 5 budgets to reduce 7,000 food items. She used her 5 budgets to ensure that she could create the drilling academy, she could create the aviation academy, brothers and sisters. And that is why we are here tonight to listen to you. While they are evicting people from their homes, I want you to remember, Kamla Persad Bissessar promised that if you were living in an HDC house for over 30 years, you can purchase it for $100. And one of the people very instrumental in the creation of homes in this country is the next speaker. She's a former cabinet minister. She's a former giant in the business community, a former managing director of the HDC. Let us welcome our deputy political leader, Senator, the Honorable Jerlene John.
Thank you, Chairman Nick. Thank you so much. Our honorable political leader, the very Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar of Senior Council, in whom we are most proud. Members of the head table, members of parliament, and our beloved UNC supporters, thank you so much for coming out in your large numbers, as usual. This pre-budget consultation is the last in a wide-ranging consultative effort where all 39 constituencies situated in Trinidad were involved, and our honorable leader, I'm sure, will tell you more about that. UNC, you should be very proud of yourself for creating a space for every citizen, your neighbor, your brother, wife and husband, to enable your friends, the working class, those who are seen as the underclass, to give everybody an equal voice, but that is what UNC is about. We are always about equality. Last evening, the UNC simultaneously had 2 pre-budget consultations, one in Princestown and one in Oropouche East, that constituency. Hundreds of citizens attended. And whilst that was going on, your election committee, appointed by you based on the results of the National Executive internal elections, that election committee was in Tunapuna and then went on to St. Joseph. So, and tonight, this morning, as a matter of fact, a team that your leader put together was meeting with the unions, talking about issues that concern the working class, very pertinent and urgent issues. And tonight, we are here in Siparia, in the office of the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar. UNC, your party is working. Your party is working. Your party, like this, that doesn't sleep. Your party did not get this large, this robust, and this resilient by accident. No, and if today the UNC stands as the only credible force against the PNM, the only force that will become the next government of Trinidad and Tobago, this is all because of your hard work, your tenacity, your dedication, your loyalty, and the vision of a leader who only this morning at 4 a.m. called me to issue instructions on some work-related matters. Our leader, I want to just explain to you, because this leader, he takes sticks and stones, right, from Siparia. You understand? We have things. She 4 o'clock this morning. And she made and requested my immediate attention. All this time, the leader doesn't know, I trying to back out from my garage to catch up with my team that go in and exercise on Hololo at 5 a.m. So then I indicated to the leader that alas be the substantive part of her instruction. I'll respond to that when I return. Her return text said, I am waiting for it. So I turned back down Hololo Hill. Leader, I turned back, I started. When I got that text, I go in up Hololo Hill, happy-go-lucky. When I saw that text, I just turned back and started to run. Jumped in my car and went to my computer. UNC, that is what has gotten us here. Your leaders' focus, your leaders' tenacity, your leaders' clear and her empathy. That is her superpower. Her empathy. That is what has gotten us here. So, whilst we come here this evening on her invitation to talk about the pending 10th budget of this existing government, and we know we'll get no explanation for the 500 billion that they have spent, because Rowley, like Houdini, everything does disappear into thin air. It had nothing to show. I don't care what they say. Just last night, the leader would have sent an email to some of us, and it's a whole book you could hardly download of some of the achievements of the United National Congress when the United Nations was in government. You be proud of your party. Nobody could ask you where the money gone, because you will take that book and bolt it to their chest, because you can explain where it went. So after $500 billion, UNC, are you better off? Are we better off? Do we feel safer? Do you know 9:45 p.m. last night, little 5-year-old Anika Guerra was sitting on her mother's lap. Her father, Enrique, ran into the house, gunman chasing him. When the smoke cleared, her father and 5-year-old Anika was dead. The PNM and their policies have caused a mother's lap to become the most dangerous place on earth. Only the PNM could do that. Right? Nothing has improved. Has the health sector improved? No. People are still sitting for 3 days. Some are dying while they're waiting. But your leader as Prime Minister was walking around what we call a base building. It had nothing in it. It was supposed to be an admin building. And she said people next door are sitting just the way they are doing now on corridors. And she instructed me as chairman of UNICOT, Dr. Moonilal as the minister responsible, and Dr. Bodo as the then chairman of school, to immediately do everything possible to convert this base administration building into a 216-bed tower. Man, you don't know your history. That is where it is. You see, it's not only about being bright. It's about feeling for others. It's about doing unto others. That is the leader we fed up with, people barking at us, insulting us. This race to the bottom. Feel that for them to get up, they have to pull somebody down. We are fed up of that politics that is non-productive. We're fed up of 500 billions disappearing in smoke. We're fed up with that. We don't want that politics anymore. The only truth this government ever said, I saw it on the papers today, Imbe said he's going to make us a cashless society. And Imbe is damn right. All of us cashless. After the PNM government, he that bragging and boasting, I'm going to make this country cashless. Yes, Imbe, you didn't have to go to Denmark to see that. Right here in Laventille, they're cashless. Right? We cashless in this country. Right? The health sector has not improved. The access to Forex has not improved. There's something, a metric we use called the ease of doing business. How long it takes to open a bank account. You go live, born, dead, and you can't get a bank account open in this country. It's amazing how hard they have made this country and impossible to live in. So if you can't open a bank account, the time you get to clear what you're building, those, what do you call it, approvals and so on, the time that you take to get it, when they measured, the last time they did this measurement by the World Bank was in the year 2020, where it is called the ease of doing business. Trinidad and Tobago was 105 out of 190. It meant 104 other countries were ahead of us. You are telling me after 100 years of wealth, we are 105. So with this government, it's a race to the bottom. So what is happening, UNC? Election has consequences. Your voting finger, it has consequences. And for those of you saying that UNC not doing anything, I say you cannot take your finger and your conscious mind and vote for the PNM and then expect UNC to stop property tax. To stop property tax, you have to vote for the UNC. Or you're too fast and out of place. What are you doing? What are you doing? Our leader and UNC told you don't sign nothing. They run and sign it and now asking what UNC doing. Okay, now to reverse that, you got to vote for the UNC in the next election. Voting has consequences. You cannot vote for the PNM and expect Petrotrin to remain open. They're going to close it down. Whatever the motives, whatever the motivation, keep your eye on them. So the PNM has stood by listlessly whilst crime overtakes this country. Even the criminal justice system has collapsed. 42,000 young well, I don't know what you call them, alleged offenders are in remand yard. And by the time they come out, you know, it's years after their cases are heard. Some of them in there because they can't afford bail. In Trinidad, when you're poor, you're sure to end up in jail because you can't afford the bail even to come out to help yourself. 42,000. By the time they come out, they are hardened criminals. These 42,000 are our young people in the prime of their lives. Yes, they may have gone wrong, but there are so many programs in terms of starting all over. Some are there for minimal crime. Maybe picking a mango, I don't know what it is. But certainly we can be more creative in thinking and in our vision to ensure we don't have 42,000 young people sitting down and we feeding them in remand yard. So 5-year-old Anika is another child who has died. We don't know if we'll ever know who the murderers are because they are after 500 billion, they are only detecting 13 out of every 100 murders. And if they catch you, it's only 3% getting convicted. Look, you see how dismal this thing is? So this place, it's really, in terms of where the prosperity coming from, is really Simpson and Clark and Batu and La Perouse Cemetery, you know. That is the only positive thing according to the PNM. It has nothing else. Failure in the SES system. Everything is just failure and backwards, 50%. So I don't know if you know right now in America, there's a lady with some Caribbean heritage running for president, Miss Kamala Harris. And she's running with a tagline, freedom. And we're not going back. But in Trinidad and Tobago, our motto must be, we have to go back. We have to go back to 2015. We have to go back to 2015 when you were getting a 14% wage increase. Back to a laptop for every child. Back to baby grants for young mothers. Back to VAT on 7,000 basic food items. Back to 100 HCC houses every single week. Them keys in your hand. And you could go in and open the door. You get the key in the morning, you could go in the evening. It's not now when they give you an envelope with the key. By the time you finish, they come back with a tree and say, give me back. Because the house is finished. It was just a Hollywood production. It was just a show. Them just a show. But with Kamla Persad Bissessar was 100 houses a week. And had she been in government for the last 10 years, all now is 500. So that database of 200,000 would have been very much reduced. So if you want that, you have to go back and vote for Kamla Persad Bissessar. Back to the construction of hospitals. Rowley and them would not have built one single hospital. Nobody can tell me they would have. This is a useless group of dotish corrupt people. 216 beds in San Fernando, 40,000 square foot of teaching space. Because everything we do, we teach. We want to teach. We want to improve. Everything is about how we diversify. In the Covered Children Hospital, that is 230 beds, 80 for children, 150 for adults, for mothers. And you know they're there with all kind of... We started, they could say what they want. We mobilized and started the Point 14 Hospital, the Arima Hospital. These are not UNC safe seats. These are PNM hardcore. But UNC is not a government for UNC. UNC is a government for all, for everybody. UNC is a government for every man, woman, and child. That is how we govern. Because even when this Kamla Persad Bissessar, Honorable as Prime Minister, recognized that for some people to get a chance, well, the majority actually, because most of us are born rich, we need an education, or at least access to education. We need access to training. What did she do? When she was Minister of Education, she created this space that every child going into that SEA will pass. 100% of them will pass. Because prior to that, 10,000 children failed every single year. That is who she is. So UNC, don't be ashamed because we lead with our heart. We lead with empathy. UNC, you are good people and you are hard-working people. So tonight I recommend that they go back to 2015. And we're doing like Kamla Persad Bissessar, not Kamala Harris. That we're not going back. We want to go back so that we could start all over. So we are not better off. So as UNC, as we prepare for the next general election, don't just talk to your UNC brothers and sisters. Honorable Leader, I know this is a pre-budget consultation, but it's a long time we get a chance to do a plug for this. I thank you so much. As we prepare for the next general election, don't just talk to UNC brothers and sisters because you're comfortable. Talk to everybody. Whether you are, talk to everybody. Everybody want to talk to you. Whether you are yellows and you're some, we have some yellows sitting on the fence, or some of them dressed in red and they say never UNC. Or we have some that we could call double haters. They hate the PNM and the UNC. Talk to everybody, because everybody have the same issues. We all want to know how we gonna pay our bills. We all want to know if we gonna be safe and secure. We all want to know that when our children go to school, they will come back home safe. We all want to know these things. So there's more that brings us together than that divides us. We have more in common than we know. Don't just watch somebody because of the race or because they're wearing red and say, no, that red person wants to talk to you, UNC. And you tell them, even if you vote for Kamla Persad Bissessar Prime Minister, that will make you a UNC. It just makes you damn sensible and smart. So if you're wondering how your children are going back to school, I said the UNC and Kamla Persad Bissessar is for you. If you want cheaper food prices, the UNC and Kamla Persad Bissessar is for you. If you want HDC that puts one, they cut it up now in 4. I never see that. It was 1 when we were there and producing 100 keys a week. They cut it in 4 now, and they have 100 houses up in a place called Terrestrial Farm, lands that we bought actually, right? 100 houses with no beam, no foundation. They can't do anything with it. So instead of adding, and people are there waiting, desperately waiting for houses. Single mothers, victims of domestic abuse, people who are being gouged by unscrupulous landlord, waiting for houses, and nothing. And what is Kamla Persad Bissessar's policy? You heard it from Nick. She says everybody, every citizen deserves a place to call home. And in UNC, everybody, there's a place here that is home for everybody. You welcome everybody. Now that makes sense, eh? Right? Because UNC is hard work. Here I tell you, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So don't waste this chance and then come and say, stop property tax. Go out and vote for the United National Congress. I thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Leader, Senator, the Honorable Deputy Leader, Jolene John. Brothers and sisters, I want to let you know before we bring on the feature speaker, the only person who can really save this country. Budgets is not just about mathematics and balancing the books. Budgets are about compassion and leadership. And there's only one leader in this country who has walked the halls of our parliament with compassion, and that person is the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar. I want you to welcome the leaders whose first cabinet note was to save your children. The leader who ensured that your children had over 500 scholarships and 60,000 jobs. Let us welcome the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, your future and next Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. UNC family, good evening to all of you. UNC family, good evening. Hey. I'm in Siparia and I'm very happy to be in my constituency. I launched my first campaign here on this compound. And let me say good night to all my constituents first. You'll forgive me. But let me thank the people of Siparia for the confidence they have placed in me for the past many years. Many, many years. Siparia, take a round of applause. Take a bow. And to all the UNC family members who are with us tonight, councillors, aldermen, MPs, senators, the 2 chairmen. Let's give it up for the 2 chairmen. The new mayor, who is the mayor of the borough of Siparia, but that's all it is, a name, only in a name, nothing, nothing. Local government reform, nothing. Constitutional reform, nothing. These are the gimmicks that they're playing with us, but we're smarter than them. Let's give it up to our deputy leader on the platform with us. And some people are protesting, so let's see what they are. Nicholas, come on, read these things for me. Can you show it to us here?
Bring back Kamla. Right, so bring back Kamla for brighter days. Stop discrimination in hiring process. My child studied hard. They are saying get dengue kits for San Fernando now. We want security in Pinal and Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing for we dread since Rowley here. Install cable barriers to save lives. Dial Singh, the biggest joker. Over 405 murders and Rowley concerned with everything else. Stop flooding now. And the last and the most important one, Kamla, please save Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you all. Please, thank you very much. You can proceed. Good night, son. Good night. Thank you all. Thank you very much. So I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. And before I move on to some points I have here, I just want to congratulate all our students who wrote the CSEC and the CAPE exams. Let's congratulate them. I want to thank all the children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and so on. And my own nephew, Yash, who got a 1 in every single subject he wrote. And several others have done so well. So let's thank them, congratulate them. And to the others, you have done well. So children of TNT, the UNC is coming to rescue you. Just make sure your parents go out and they vote UNC. Now, you know, a friend recommended a book to me. It's a multi-prize winning book. How Democracies Die. It's by Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt. You can Google it, go on the Amazon and check it. When I read the blurb on this book, I thought that they were writing about our country under this Rowley government. In the blurb for the book, it says, and I quote, "Democracy no longer ends with a bang, in a revolution or military coup, but with a whimper. The slow, steady weakening of critical institutions, such as the judiciary, the press, and the gradual erosion of long-standing political norms. Our democracy is on the edge because of interference by the government and government officials in almost every independent institution. That is a fact. Every single thing they've put their dirty paws into and interfered. There's been PNM interference in all service commissions. Agreed? The PNM has interfered in all the service commissions. Look, talk to me. Let me talk to you. I need the energy from you. They've interfered with the Police Service Commission, you remember? They interfered with the Public Service Commission. They've interfered with the BIR. They've interfered with the Protective Services, the EBC, the Auditor General, the Judiciary, the Office of the President. Imagine a big man going in the President's office and take away the merit list. You all remember that? Took away that list. The DPP's office, and that list goes on. They've interfered in every single independent institution. Disregard. There's decay, there's destruction, there's death happening when people do not listen. When we do not listen to rebuild our democracy, to rebuild our country, we need people who hear and who listen. We need people who hear and who listen. Everybody in this country is lying on a bed of needles. Agree, Nicholas? Everybody is lying on a bed of thorns. Needles for most of us, already inches into our flesh. Every day the needles are forced deeper into our flesh because our burden gets heavier. Every day we are burdened by increasing stress, ripping out our peace of mind and happiness out of our lives and that of our children. That is true. That is a fact. Listen. Listen. Don't just hear. Listen. Every day 1,000 dull needles are piercing into our flesh. And the wounds are not even clean. It is like our flesh is being punctured and torn out. You must have heard the saying of death by 1,000 cuts. Have you ever heard that? Death by 1,000 cuts. And do you know what that means? It means several things. First, it is a practice that weakens the victim bit by bit, over time, until you are in a state of helplessness. It is a well-known strategy used by uncaring people. It works like this. An oppressive, uncaring person adds an ounce of burden, then an ounce of pain, then another ounce of horror. And what they do? Repeat, repeat, repeat. Death by 1,000 cuts. The oppressor does this repeatedly until the victim has lost all confidence and becomes helpless and hopeless, till they are timid and terrorized, till they are crippled and paralyzed by fear and stress. That is where we are today in this country. If it's 10 o'clock in the night, you see a strange car stop in front of your home for a few minutes, what happens? You instantly become stressed and scared. Instantly. You feel a heaviness in your chest because you become fearful. That is a cut too. The heaviness in your chest stays until the car leaves. Then in a few minutes, after that strange car leaves, you wonder if they were scoping out your home to come back later. And the heaviness returns. That is another cut. When you must open your front gate in the morning to leave home, you are fidgety until you go close back that gate. And you are in your vehicle. That is another cut. When you get your bills, you're stressed because you don't know if electricity and water rates have increased. That is another cut. I'm talking about death by 1,000 cuts. Keeping a failed Minister of National Security, that is another cut. Then you abandon a state-of-the-art hospital while citizens are dying on the floors and corridors of dilapidated hospital. That is another cut. When you send your children to school and they are bullied every day and the state does nothing to stop it, you see your child coming from being a happy child, bubbly child, becoming into reclusive and a terrified child. That is another cut. You feel the pain as a parent to see what has become of your child. That is why we parents see parents, sometimes they go out there. I'm not saying they're right, but they go out sometimes and beat the crap out of these bullies in schools because they are caring and concerned for their child. It is because of the daily cuts of seeing their children suffering and no one doing anything. That is another cut. When you have to beg like a dog in the bank for $200 or $100, but they eat a food fake elite, they get millions of dollars. That is another cut. Understand that in every sector is cut after cut after cut. Pain after pain after pain, and death by 1,000 cuts. When the criminals extort your business every week, but the government is talking about the cost of arms, that is another cut. When they chase you like criminals all over to give you a traffic ticket, but they put up people for seats from business chambers, those business people importing appliances in the front half of their 40-foot shipping container. Illegal contraband in the back half of their containers. That is another cut. We are waiting for them. We will form the next government and we will deal with them. They will beg for mercy. They will have to beg for mercy, and there will be no mercy for these heartless criminals. I can go on all night about the cuts we are getting. Cut after cut after cut after cut. And as I say, that is death by 1,000 cuts. You can see and smell the blood. Do not take God out of your thoughts in this election that will be upon us. And Mr. Rowley, you said there is no election in November, but you will do this election in December. And if it's December, we'll be ready for you. If it is January, are you ready? February, we are ready. Anytime it's called. Ready. We are ready. We are ready. Ship them out, okay. I am not dealing. I'm not dealing with ships tonight. Thank you very much. The only ship is the ship of Trinidad and Tobago. And Captain, that ship is sinking. And what are you doing? Nothing. So leave him there with his ships. Probably dreams them in the night. I want you to remember, the PNM is cutting and cutting and cutting you. They're taking and taking and taking. People are bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. They're doing it, yes. Bleeding to death. And you know they're doing it to everybody. To their own citizens, their own PNM supporters, everybody. It doesn't matter if you're red, blue, green, yellow. It is everyone in this country is dying and bleeding and suffering because of this wicked, heartless PNM government. Death by 1,000 cuts. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear of your problems, affairs. They don't listen to you to understand what real life is for a normal, average person. They will come in a few months, as you know, to bring another budget without your input. They have not had a single consultation with the public, with people, normal people. None, none. I will come to that parliament on the 30th of September or soon thereafter because the budget is due. This is, as JJ told us, the 10th budget. Can you imagine? 10 budgets of this wicked government. And people, to them, PNM, people never matter. PNM, people never matter. In all those budgets, the 500 billions they've spent, what have they given to the people of this country? To the PNM, PNM means people never matter. PNM means pressure, no money. Pressure, no money. So PNM, people never matter. And PNM means no money. No money for you, but plenty money for them. Yes, cashless. Cashless, yes. Shameless. Okay, I'll comment to that. Some people don't eat chicken, so I have to be careful. I'll come to that in a minute. I do have something about that chicken and the ginger. Don't worry. So, we have come to listen to you. We have come to hear your stories, your everyday lives. We've come to hear about your challenges or your experiences. We have come to see where in a country past 9 years under this destructive PNM, everybody's life has become chickenless. I'm listening to my sister here. Cashless and chickenless. And gingerless, yes. Yes, Nick. We come to you to hear how you're managing to feed your families. Last week, come back to the ginger, was what? $80, boy. So somebody told me, I said, but I do eat ginger. That is not important. What about the rice and the flour? Yes. And the oil mightn't be healthy, but almost everybody eats rice, flour, and uses oil. What about those prices? 4 pounds for the $100. Is that true? No, you talking about chicken, talk to me. How much for the $100? What size of chicken are you getting? Okay. What you paid $1,000 for in the groceries before is now what? $1,500. So the prices have gone more than that. Well, Nicholas, you must be buying something else. We just buy rice and flour and oil. From time to time, a little dal. You must buy books, school supplies for your children. In a country that has been assaulted with taxes, fuel price hikes, traffic ticket fines, electricity, water rate increases in this past 9 years under this wicked government. As Nick has been saying here, my government used your tax money to give over 2 million free textbooks. Do you all remember that? 2 million free textbooks. Tens of thousands of laptops for children. What did they do? What did they do? And some felt that was not good enough. Since people prefer to give their hard-earned taxpayer money to pay rent for Faris. Yes? To build a $70 million Prime Minister Palace in Tobago. You know how much books we could buy with 70 million? You know how many chickens you could buy with that? I'll always remember you as a chicken lady, by the way. 70 million to build a palace, a Prime Minister Palace in Tobago. To buy paintings. To give billions of contracts to Stuart Young brother. But the rest of you tell me you're cashless. They took your tax dollars, remember it, When you hear all these things they're talking about, it is your over $500 billion of your money that they spend on themselves and their family and their finances and their friends. Don't forget that. When you go to vote, remember that and vote them out with a vengeance. Vote them out. Think about it for a minute. Some voters, as I say, they prefer to let the PNM give their taxpayer dollars to PNM finances, family, and friends, instead of letting us in the UNC give that money back to you and your children. That was your money to be spent on our schools, our hospitals, on books, on laptops. We will do it again. We did it once and we will do it again. We will do it again. Free textbooks, laptops, lunches, school meals, transport, gate. They closed the gate again. I remember in 2010 when we won the election, the then Prime Minister, may he rest in peace, he stood up and he said, Kamla, going to take away the gate, close the gate. We opened that gate. The chairman here is talking about apprenticeship programs and so on. That is what we did with the gate. We had all these centers, NESC centers. That one in Clark Road right there, what is that? MIC, a skeleton. We had those all over the country. We had accreditation programs where if you were a tailor, a carpenter, whatever skill you had, you could come in, and if you don't have the piece of paper, we will give you the accreditation. And if not, we work you through, teach you, and give you a piece of paper, because nowadays everybody wants to see certificate. They did what? The workforce assessment centers, he's reminding me. All this we had. So education is just not about academic. That's part of the problem. Our system has collapsed now. You're going and studying 5 O-levels and 3 A-levels and 10. And what? When you finish there, you can't even get a job. You're going to university, coming out as a doctor, you can't get a job. Hundreds of doctors, Dr. Bodo, how much is it now? It was about 600, 500. 500 qualified. Look, Dr. O'Brien is here. Qualified. He's working, by the way. Lucky him, he's doing it. University graduates, the chairman told us, are applying for 10 days. Nothing is wrong with that, I would say. But that is why this system, that's why we opened it, so you'll get a skill. You could do something, not just a certificate for academic, but you'll have certificates for carpentry, hairdressing, a trade. I wonder if anybody is young like me. We remember Tech, which is now Power Gen down the road. They had a trade school. Trintok, Petrotrin, trade school. Caroni had all these things, they've closed. And they want to know why people are complaining. You know, pensioner sent me a text today, just a while ago. He said, Madam, please, by Prime Minister, he calls me. He says, please, I'm a pensioner. I work so hard to build a little house, a little 2x4 house with 2 bedrooms. And now they tell me I have to pay this property tax end of the month. I'm going to $1,848, he said he had to pay. I'm going to lose my home. And they check in the chicken coop too. And the dog kennel, everything. Property tax, end of this month. And look, as I say, the day is coming. Here, anybody remember Game of Thrones, or you all too young to remember Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones, always say, winter is coming. First in Trinidad and Tobago, election is coming. Election is coming. And the sun will rise again. So, make all of this make sense. We come to you in your forgotten communities all over the country, as Nick told us, to listen to all of you. Morval Lavendale has been a heartland of the PNM for decades. Murder upon murder. No one in government want to listen to them. But we went. The UNC went to Morval Lavendale to listen. You all remember that? In addition to the budget consultations, we held anti-crime consultations throughout the length and breadth of the country. and we'll go more on. We have to listen to you. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are sensible, they are bright, and they have brilliant ideas. That's why we come to you. I listened in Morval Laventille for 3 hours. Painful stories. They just wanted someone to listen. And they had suggestions how we could fix the crime. And I told them, I've been sharing on the platform. Again, I will continue to share. And when we get ideas from you, our anti-crime fighting measures. We have to deal with crime, Mr. Rowley, not with ships. Who cares about those ships? We care about the crime, the murder, the home invasions. We care about the high food prices. We care about school books for our children. Mr. Rowley, tell us, what are you going to fix then? When we went to Morva, the PNM tried to organize hecklers, to heckle us, to abuse us, and what happened? The same people they organized to heckle us, they came to that anti-crime talk and they told me, Auntie Cams, we are happy that you came into our community to listen. They told me we are tired of being treated as if we don't matter. They told me we are people too. They told me, thank you for coming here to listen. I have always told you, as a leader, you must first listen and then lead. If you want to be a good leader, you have to listen and then lead. You must know what people need, what they want. And we will forever be listening to you. We come to you in small villages. We come to you in the urban areas to find out how the cruel wage freezes, the lockdowns, the foreign exchange restrictions, and the other oppressive measures of government have affected workers, fathers, mothers, children, heads of households, young people, elderly, retired, the disabled. We come to you, the people. You, the people. You, the people. Not we, the people. You, the people. To find out how you are coping under the destructive, violent crime wave. You know how many people have died since they came into office? Over 4,500 people. Since they came into office and counting, even as I'm speaking, God forbid it, even as we speak, 4,500 people. Over the last 9 years, that's police stats. The robberies, the home invasions. My MPs, our councillors, our chairmen, aldermen, they have visited you for the past they visit you all the time, but for the past 2 years, 2 months, we came throughout. Can we thank them all, the coordinators, the councillors, MPs and senators who went across the length and breadth of Trinidad to listen. We have all those recorded. Everything everyone said, and as Nick has explained, we will use it in the budget debate. We'll use it in crafting our responses. And we'll use the ideas in crafting our manifesto for the next general election. In addition to these verbal consultations, I have personally written to 102 organizations. So in addition to these consultations across the length and breadth of Trinidad, I personally wrote about 102 organizations, including NGOs, trade unions, business chambers, professional associations, and others, faith-based organizations. I've written to them, asked them, share your thoughts, share your ideas, what you would like to see in the budget, so we can share it with the country and with the government. The government has consulted with not a single one, I'll tell you. From inside the Ministry of Finance, they're preparing that budget document as we speak, without talking to anybody, without consulting anyone. This is a dictator government. They come from the top, and is their way or no way. They come to tell you, tell me, tell us, this is the way. But not a person, not asking a single opinion, total dictatorship. Since July, we held these consultations nationwide. And here we conclude tonight in Siparia. The government talks about a gimmick constitution reform review. Mayor will tell you, last year before local election was what? Local government reform. In the COVID year, it was what? Roadmap to recovery. It never recovered. Not a single thing coming out of these documents. Millions of dollars being spent, for these documents, and then nothing happens. They changed the name of Siparia Regional Corporation to call it Siparia Borough Corporation, to make Siparia Mamagai, feel Mamagai. The Mamagai us. Nothing has happened. Up to today, they have not even changed the signage. Is that true, Mayor? For everything? Just for the building. All the road signs everywhere still saying what? All your vehicles, you change all the vehicles? No, nothing. Local government reform, the only thing they implemented was one thing. You know it was? Anybody remember? Yeah, they didn't call the election. They did not call the election. That was the one thing. No local election. We had to go to the Privy Council, you remember? So no 4 years yet, you know. You had to have an election first. So I don't know this constitution reform gimmick. If it may be, give me a second, please. If it is, they want to postpone the general election. But the man said we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do the other. Within 6 months, what? Let's see. We'll wait and see. PNM don't like elections, you know. People never matter. So you talk about this gimmick. It is all about campaigning and elections, not about you. People never matter. The PNM has rejected the most critical recommendations from their own report. So they don't make up their minds. The Prime Minister calling on the opposition to come and join them on our 70s. So I'm not going nowhere with you, Mr. Rowley. We are not going anywhere. You have made up your mind what you're keeping and what you're taking away. You've already decided what you're calling us to spend millions on 5-day retreat and 7-day retreat on this gimmick. Optics. So they took out from the report proportional representation, 2-term limits, and fixed election dates. That is because they want a voter pad through HEC housing developments in the marginals. They will become irrelevant if we have proportional representation. You know that? They will never change that. The UNC will move to bring proportional representation to Trinidad and Tobago. In that way, every single vote will count. In this first past the post system, what counts? What counts? Not your vote. So in Siparia, you'll get 30,000 votes. In the borough of Siparia is how many votes you will get. But when you go down to Point 14, in the borough of Point 14 is how many? 16,000. Kova Tabakital Paro, up on the corridor, 80,000 people. And then you come to say they have 7 corporations and we have 7. The 7 we have control the majority of the population. That is what reform should be. Proportional representation. We did it. I want you to remember that, Dr. Munilal. We did it in Parliament. For local government, that depending on the number of votes, whether the PNM control or UNC control, you get the aldermen. That is how PNM get an alderman up in Princestown, Barry, is it? Maruga. Sorry, Barry, Princestown safe. Thank you, Barry. Thank you. Don't panic. So they have like one or Pinal Debe Regional Corporation is a fortress. There's not a single PNM traitor sitting there. So they took out all of that. They want to stay in office for life. They don't want term limits. We had proposed, you remember, 2 terms up. This man wanted a 3rd term. That's why he rejected it outright, because then how could he stand on a platform and beg people to vote for him again? Rejected the 2-term limit. People are seeing through their PNM gimmicks. You know, when they had this reform committee, and I'll stop in a short while, they had 50 people in a national constitution meeting. About. Yes, some of them, about 50 or sometimes less. They have no achievement to campaign on. You agree? They built nothing. They delivered nothing. So they are going to campaign, and I'm telling you, their manifesto is the Constitution Reform Report. That is their manifesto. The PNM has created history in the last 9 years. That history, as JJ tells us, cannot continue. We are not going to let that continue. We have to go back and restore good governance in Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM has created the worst crime rate in our history. They've created the highest food prices in our history. We are paying the highest gas prices in our history. This is the world's worst performing economy in our history. We have the highest unemployment rate in our history, especially with youth unemployment. I can go on, but this is why they can only get about 50 people in a consultation for constitutional reform. And I'm reading something now. The Prime Minister said they got about 700 people attended their constitutional reform. About 700 people talking about constitutional reform. You know how many people we have in this country? 1.4 million. And he got 700 people in all these highfalutin things. And he's saying that is a good statistics. Good statistics, really maths, not maths in Mr. Prime Minister. Not even 5%. Okay, these mathematicians say 0.05% of the population, and you want to come to tell us what to do and not to do. The PNM general election campaign. I want you to remember as I close the playbook. Remember the playbook? PNM playbook. Anywhere you go, don't ever forget this playbook, okay? Don't forget it, okay? So here is it. PNM playbook, the Mama Gayu. Number 1, blame UNC first. Number 1 is? Number 2, blame Kamla. Number 3, blame the people. Number 4, cry race. Number 5, lie for everything. Number 6, procure Judas after Judas after Judas. Remember that, eh? Siparia knows about that, the Borough Corporation. Waste your money to feel important. Number 7, waste your money. Number 8, pervert the Constitution. Number 9, repeat over and over and over again. The end. And then go back to number 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Remember this playbook. When you meet people anywhere, I think JJ told us, talk to people, meet people. Don't care if they're red, yellow, or blue. Just talk to people that are suffering just like you are. Everyone is suffering. Remember this playbook and remind them. The PNM's general election campaign will be based on gimmick constitution reform. Politically exploiting the reparations cause by trying to stir up emotions to cause division. Division. Don't go down that rabbit hole, please. Don't follow down that rabbit hole about these ships. That is not important at this time. They want to remove pre-independence symbols and names. They are weaponizing sensitive ethnic issues. I warn you. I warn you tonight, and everyone you know, please tell them, do not go down the ethnic division rabbit hole that Rowley and the PNM are trying to take you into. Don't go down there. Rowley and the PNM want us, and they want to keep you talking about steel pan and Columbus and Tassa. Don't go down that road, Madam Chicken. Don't go down there. Don't go down steel pan and Columbus and Tassa. Because you know why they want to talk about that, and some of us, we want to talk about it. I would love to, but that is not for me to do. You know why they want us to talk about Columbus and steel pan and what else, Tassa? Because they don't want you to talk about 5-year-old Anika who was murdered. 5-year-old child in her mother's lap. Shot in Maruga last night. She was shot 5 times. A child, 5-year-old. They don't want us to talk about that, but that is what we'll talk about. Not steel pan and Tassa and Dolak. We're not talking about that. We are talking about the issues affecting everybody in this country, the murders and the home invasions. They don't want us to talk about 8-year-old Lisha Narayan, died from dengue, went to the health center, doc, and they sent her back home. A child, that could be your child. That could be my grandchild. It could be any one of us, a brother, a sister, man. That is what we should be talking about. The PNM general election campaign, they have no achievements. Real people's issues don't matter. The PNM will campaign and exploiting ethnic divisions, evoking irrational fears about UNC and political gimmickry. That's what they'll do. They only care for average citizens, guess when? When election time comes around. After that, people never matter. It is only concern about the middle class when an election is due. They only see poor people when they need votes. The PNM ministers could only be found in a Hyatt for the last 9 years, but soon you will see them walking all over. In my entire lifetime, I never see Rowley come down in Pinal. In Rock Road, this man walking up and down like, what is it called, man? Mahawal, I think they used to call it. Just walking all over the place. Bahal. Yes. They told me don't cut my speech because I'm on time. Shall I continue? Thank you. What his name was? Siparia people know that. Mahal. Mr. Rowley down on the Rock Road, they're walking up and down. Well, they get a licking of their life thanks to a new counselor. New counselor. They will come again. They will come again. Okay? Because it's election time. We'll see them. We'll see them. They afraid you. So never once in 9 years, I'm telling you, you'll see them. They'll talk about the wage freezes, the oppressive measures affecting workers and fathers, mothers, children. We have always been in your communities. We have never forgotten you. Remember that. I want to repeat it, so you'll be warned of what the PNM is coming with. I repeat, what is their campaign for this election? Gimmick constitution reform. Forget Tassa and Dolak and Stilpan. Gimmick constitution reform. Politically exploiting the reparations cause by trying to stir up emotions to cause divisions. Removing these pre-independent symbols and names. I don't know when they'll stop, you know. You want to get rid of Columbus? Fine. He was a wicked thief, a rapist. I have no love for him. But when you get rid of Columbus, well, we had to go and deal with the Columbus Channel. Will you negotiate with Venezuela to change the name of the Columbus Channel? Will you negotiate with QRC, one of the best schools in the country, to change their name from Queen's Royal College? When will it stop? Port of Spain. When will it stop? Let's go forward. Let's go forward. You still talking, no steel pan, no Tassa, no Dolak. We're talking about issues that matter. And so Rowley and the PNM, they want you to make memes and posts and talk about what? Columbus and ships and Tassa and steel pan. So you wouldn't be talking about them, about the murders and the dengue and the high food prices, the home invasions, the joblessness, agency corruption, missing $3 billion. I call on our country to get back to real issues. Do not get distracted. You promise me? Do not get distracted with steel pan and Dolak and Tassa. Don't. Get back to the issues that affect you every single day of your life. I call you to get back to these real issues. I call upon you to call them out on having 7-day national meeting, gimmick constitution reform. But they wouldn't meet you to talk to you. And now, that is what we should be posting. That is what we should be sharing. Okay? The Dolak is here, the Tassa is here, and they'll forever be here. The steel pan is here, will forever be here. Yes, we love these instruments, but we do not love the crime. We do not love the high food prices. We do not love the collapse of the health sector, the education sector, the infrastructure, everything on this government. And I want to tell you, Mr. Rowley and the PNM, the people don't want your constitution reform. You know what they want? Cost of living reform. Cost of living reform. Price reform. Education reform. Health reform. These are the things, that's the reform we want. Not at this time for that gimmick constitution reform. The people want jobs that you have not delivered in 9 years. People want schools. The government has not delivered in 9 years. I think J. Joma, you said 106 schools we built. About 106. People want an end to the brutal crime, the murders, the robberies, the extortions, the rapes, the kidnappings, home invasions that the government has allowed to take over our country in the past 9 years. People want a better than a 4% wage increase. Do you agree? Better than 4%, Rowley. Where the money gone? Where is the money going? People want their back pay. People want their VAT refunds. They have failed to give people this in their 9 years in office. So my friends, Dolak is nice. You know, my mother used to play the Dolak, by the way. So I grew up with my mother and all the sisters sitting down in the living room, beating Dolak and singing. Wonderful instruments. The steel pan. I grew up in Siparia. Behind my house in Siparia was the steel pan side, the deltone, the Siparia deltones. So I grew up with Dolak and steel pan. I love them. And I always will do it. It's part of our culture. It's part of what we know as the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So take your mind off that. People don't want the gimmick constitution reform. It is not a priority. When they cannot buy books for their children, when they don't know where the money for the meal tomorrow is coming from, or if they will be brutalized or murdered tonight in a home invasion. I think JJ mentioned, imagine mothers stealing textbooks. Under this government, they're going to steal textbook. They should not be, mothers, families should not be so desperate. I told you, we gave out 2 million free textbooks. We can do it again. We had promised to give you e-books. We had given you the laptops. We were going to textbooks onto the laptop to save cost. We will do it again. We will do it. We will do it. I ask you to make it make sense. And as I close then, just a few more points and I go. The UNC had more people at our consultations than they had in their gimmick constitution reform. We had more people in these consultations. We had more people because mothers who need to buy books, lunch kits, fill the lunch kit, they don't care what's on the coat of arms. Regardless of the coat of arms or the dollar bill, it buys the same amount. The dollar will be spent in the same way. Regardless. I see the Prime Minister has said he was checking the front page of the Express, was it? Because people are pointing out the cost of changing all these dollars, the bills, the signage. And he said what? Cost is not a concern. Where are you living? The cost is always a concern for that chicken and pound of rice and flour. The things you have to buy to put in the lunch kit for your children. The books you have to buy to put in the book bag, and the book bag you have to buy for the children. The cost does matter, Mr. Prime Minister. The UNC had more people, as I say, in our consultations on crime and now. So as I close, I say, the UNC will get more votes in the next election. Because people know now they deserve better. They want a government to treat them with love, respect, and decency. And tonight, I tell you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you deserve better. You deserve higher wages. You deserve lower taxes. You deserve better security. You deserve lower food prices. You deserve lower fuel prices. You deserve more jobs. You deserve no property tax. You deserve legal firearms to protect yourselves and your families. You deserve the best. People want real results. 50,000 jobs. A safer society with stand-your-ground laws. Community comfort patrols. No more property tax. More direct foreign investments. More foreign exchange. Greater creativity, innovation, better ideas and better health care. That's what people want, Mr. Prime Minister. People want people-centered governance for a leader who loves them. The people want love. You may love me or not, but you can never, ever deny that my policies have always been focused on uplifting the real salt of the earth, people in our country. While other leaders arrogantly tell you that the rich must get richer, imagine a prime minister will tell the country the rich must get richer. I have always said all boats must ride with the tide. Rise up, everyone must have an equal chance. We care about you. We care about your children's future. We care about your parents and your grandparents' futures as well. And so, Mr. Prime Minister, we tell you, we will not be fooled by your gimmickry. I care about you being able to afford a piece of land and a home. Remember, we had land for the landless, you all remember. I don't know if you all forget these things, but we must remind them. We have to remember ourselves, and then must tell those sitting on the fence, no, it's not the time to sit on the fence. So when you go there, as you will, we begin our campaign the first week in September. We will hit the ground. We will hit the ground. And you will join us. And we must tell people, we must remember these things, to tell people and remind them, those who have forgotten. I care about you being able to afford a vehicle to transport your family. Remember, it was the UNC who did the used car, that you could get an affordable car. I care about you being able to afford the best food and health care and educational opportunities. You deserve to have a government that gives you the best life possible. This government takes from you every day, killing you daily, every day, for 9 years. As I told you, death by 1,000 cuts. The UNC, when in government, has always given to you. You have to admit that. And I give you this promise tonight, we will do it again. Now, these people who are sitting on the fence, they'll write a long article, say one thing about the PNM and Rowley. And you know what? Then they say, all them government is the same. We are not the same. Remember that and share the word around. The UNC and the PNM are totally different. The pseudo-intellectuals, the wannabe intellectuals, political commentators, failed political aspirants, eat a food false elite, they will tell you UNC and PNM are the same. It makes no sense who you vote for. In other words, just keep voting for PNM. That's what they're really telling you. But we are different. That is a total lie. It's a blatant lie. These pseudo-intellectuals eat a food fake elite. They will try hard to discourage the majority from voting out the PNM and voting in the UNC. They do all of that because they're among the very few. Because they benefit when PNM is in power. That is why they write in all them column and the papers, eat a food, remember that. Every cent they make is because of the government. Not indirectly, but directly paid. Eat a food, we call them. Not calling no names tonight, and next night I'll do that. These eater food elitists are doing well, they don't care about your children. The UNC and PNM, remember, are very, very different. You will see even in this, what we are doing tonight, the approach of UNC, talking to you, talking to you, talking to you. And right now we are putting up on the screen, is it up, Kevin, the email and the WhatsApps, that people can send in their suggestions. If you couldn't be here tonight, across the land, we will share these numbers. So we approach crime fighting differently. We deal with budgeting differently. We differ in philosophy, ideology, and history, which makes our policy choices very different. People have a choice at election time. Voting makes a real difference, especially to the most vulnerable. The UNC's name, if you have forgotten, unites the African National Congress of Nelson Mandela and the Indian National Congress of Mahatma Gandhi. That's where we got our name, United National Congress. We united the ANC of Mandela and the Indian National Congress of Mahatma Gandhi. The PNM openly embraces the philosophy, as I told you, rich get richer. The UNC is anti-elitist. We are people-centered. We support participation of small and medium businesses. We pioneered, as I told you, the foreign car market. The UNC always looks for ways to include and expand participation of small and medium-sized businesses. In natural disasters, whom do we see first? UNC. Flooding, COVID, the UNC is out there, the counselors, the activists. We are out there first. Remember that. You ever see a PNM coming to give anybody a hamper? The only time is when it's election time. So, my friends, their policies discriminate. The PNM eat a food lawyers. They always represent whom? The state. You ever see another big senior counsel of the PNM defending any ordinary man, small man? They're fighting you down. They get all the state briefs. UNC has lawyers who takes up the plight of the poor man, the vulnerable. We go in parliament and say, Anand Ramluga and this and that. Anand is a great lawyer. He will lick them up every time they go to court. And he doesn't get any state brief. So, you never see a PNM lawyer doing a free case. If you find one, tell me. That person deserves a medal. Never see them doing a free case. You see our UNC lawyers doing it all the time. Is Saddam there? Saddam. Anytime I matter, Senator Saddam was only lawyer. Of course, we sent to Anand and others. The PNM is different. They're about secrecy. The UNC is about transparency. The PNM opposes freedom of information requests. You had to take them to court to force the information out. It was the UNC who set up Pioneering Freedom of Information Act, equal opportunities legislation, judicial review, and radically expanded JSCs of the parliament, the select committees of the parliament. Again, that is for transparency. The PNM is for the government to control your freedom. We stand for freedom of thought and expression. The PNM wants the government to complete control of your life. That's what they want. The UNC gives to you, the PNM takes from you in all the taxes that they have. So my friends, the pathway in front of us is very clear. Whenever that bell rings, and bellman give him a wrong applause, he's ringing that bell whole night. Whenever that bell rings, bellman, the real bell, the election bell, make sure that you will be amongst the numbers. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up on yonder, where will you be? Will you be there? When that roll is called up. As I close, I will show you whatever you say tonight as you feedback to us, we will take it, as I say, to use in budget responses and our manifesto prep. Trust me when I say, I will not break this promise. I will never fail you. I've always served your interests with pride, with diligence and honor. I will do so for as long as I have the privilege and joy of representing you, the great constituents of Siparia, and the people of our great UNC party and our great country. This is my promise to you. It is my pledge, and I vow, as I make this vow, I tell you it comes from my heart. And let me remind you, as I always do, with all the love in my heart, you will find leaders you had before me. You will have leaders after me. But guess what? You will never, ever find a leader who loves you as much as I do. May the good Lord bless and keep you. I ask you to please stay. There are several persons who have indicated they want to speak tonight. So we have the mic open, and Chairman Nicholas will come back to the mic. Thank you, good night, and make sure you reach home safe. Thank you, God bless.
Please join me in congratulating our political leader. She continues to fight for our country. And brothers and sisters, wherever you are joining us tonight, we want you to know that the major difference between the PNM and the UNC is that we have a leader that cares for you, a leader that delivers for you. And tonight we want to welcome you wherever you are, joining us from whichever part of the world or part of Trinidad and Tobago, to tell you that you can be part of our party. You can lend your solutions, your ideas. The number to WhatsApp your ideas, your concerns, and even to volunteer is 388-3983. Again, the political leader has set up this number for wherever you are in the world or in Trinidad and Tobago. You can WhatsApp us to volunteer to be part of our social media team or party. You can send your concerns, and you can also send your suggestions to 388-3983. Please put it in your phones now, especially our councillors, so you can send it, post it in the group. The MPs, again, please, 388-3983. So right now, again, we continue with our program by welcoming members of the public to give their concerns.
Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Nico Samru. It is with immense gratitude.
Could you come to the front, please? Please. We just have a little technical things here.
Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Nico Samru, and it is with immense gratitude and a profound sense of responsibility that I stand before you today, representing not only my family's enterprise, Ron's Marketing Company Limited, but also the vibrant community of young entrepreneurs who are steadfast and passionately trying to contribute to the economic success of this country. Our nation's current budgetary framework has been pivotal in fostering economic stability. However, as we look towards the next budget, it is crucial to address several pressing challenges that are impeding the growth of emerging enterprises and serve as overall challenges to upcoming entrepreneurs. One major challenge is the availability of foreign exchange. I'm sure you can agree. The scarcity of foreign exchange remains a significant impediment for our businesses, particularly for those reliant on imported goods and technologies. This shortage hampers our ability to expand and compete on a global scale. The Trinidad Guardian reported on May 5, 2024, that several businesses, such as Miniso, the anime place in West Mall, are experiencing delays and increased costs due to difficulties in accessing foreign currency. This shortage has disrupted supply chains and increased production costs, leading to financial strain on these businesses. To address these challenges, there should be enhancement in foreign exchange support. We should introduce mechanisms to streamline the allocation of foreign exchange to businesses, particularly small and medium-sized establishments, to ensure that they have the necessary resources to operate and expand their business locally, while also improving our citizens' quality of life with global products. Another challenge we can't overlook is rising inflation and gas prices in our economy. I'm sure you can agree. Inflationary pressures have escalated costs around the board. From operational expenses to consumer pricing, this erosion of purchasing power places a strain on profit margins and affects consumer spending behavior. More persons are spending money on bills such as gas and electricity, while decreasing their abilities to support our local businesses. On June 18th of this year, an article discussed the strain that rising inflation is placing on local businesses. The piece highlighted between May 2023 and May 2024, communication costs rose by 8.5%, healthcare rose by 7.9%, and food and non-alcoholic beverages rose by 3.1%. Increased costs for goods and services are squeezing profit margins and making it difficult for businesses to maintain stable prices for their customers. We as a country should investigate various inflation mitigation strategies designed to address these challenges, implement targeted tax relief measures such as VAT refunds and reduce corporate taxes to help alleviate cost pressures and better sustain these business operations. This would be enabling our local businesses to better provide the public with affordable products and services in alignment with the overhead costs. Furthermore, while speaking on business operating costs, access to financing is also an issue where emerging entrepreneurs often encounter difficulties. Due to stringent lending criteria and high interest rates, it can lead to difficulties in securing financing for up-and-coming entrepreneurs. This challenge restricts their capacity to invest in growth and innovation for our country and community. A Newsday article from October 9, 2023 discussed the challenges faced by SMEs enterprises in securing financing. The SWAHA even made recommendations that attempted to rectify how limited access to credit as well as high interest rates were hindering the growth and sustainability of new businesses. Suggestions to revamp the venture capital fund, expand NEDCO funding, and also have government guarantees for MSME loans. All these suggestions incentivize SME listings on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Finally, navigating bureaucratic red tape and infrastructure limitations can prove challenging to new entrepreneurs. Navigating complex regulatory requirements can be both time-consuming and costly, discouraging entrepreneurship and stifling that business drive. Similarly, infrastructure limitations, including utilities and logistical shortcomings, impedes operational efficiency and overall business performance. The World Bank released the Ease of Doing Business report, as the Honorable Deputy stated, where they took 41 component indicators into account, such as registering property, construction permits, getting credit, paying taxes, trading across borders, enforcing contracts, and more. They then aggregated into one total score. The United States and England were ranked 6th and 8th easiest countries to do business with. Jamaica was ranked the 71st easiest country, and Trinidad and Tobago was ranked all the way at 105th easiest country to do business. We need to do better. We should review and simplify the regulatory framework to reduce obstacles, as well enhance the ease of doing business and encourage entrepreneurial activity. While there are efforts being made in this regard to assist all the challenges I mentioned to you all, the strength and drive being put behind them, at least for right now, is not enough. I also urge the government to consider further incentivizing business that engage in community development projects. By fostering initiatives that support youth engagement and poverty alleviation, we not only enhance social welfare, but also create a more sustainable business environment. Businesses who assist in these regards should be given incentives to further encourage such a community outreach. For instance, offering tax deductions for businesses that sponsor or participate in community projects such as youth development, crime prevention, and support for the less fortunate should be made a common practice. Public recognition awards to honor businesses that make significant contributions to community development will lead to a greater influx of community outreach by these very same businesses. These are small gestures that will strengthen the ties between business persons and their communities. Almost done. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposed budgetary measures and incentives are designed to address the immediate challenges faced by emerging entrepreneurs and also to catalyze long-term economic growth. Let us seize this opportunity to build a brighter future for our country, one where every young entrepreneur can thrive, every community can flourish, and our nation can prosper as a unified dynamic force on a global stage. Thank you for your attention and consideration.
Now, can we say thank you, Mr. Samaru? Thank you, Mr. Samaru. Thank you very much. Please give him a round of applause. He's young and we have to grow businesses. That's the issues he has raised is for us to grow the businesses because that is how we'll create jobs. That's how we create more money. So please give him a round of applause as we turn to the next person, please.
Good night, political leader. Good night to members of the head table. I want to talk a little bit about education and the relevance of the present system to the education of young people that will help us to build a better nation. And one of the things that we have to look at is whether the existing school system, the examination systems, are really relevant to produce the kind of citizens who will make Trinidad and Tobago a better place. And so as we reflect on And this is the month for exam results. We had CXC coming out, decisions have to be made, applications to university. And so many families, many young people, they are at a crossroad. And when you look at the future, there are so many changes globally. And one of the things we have to think about is how it impacts on future jobs. One of the things we recognize is that there will never be enough jobs for the young people. And so, as I spoke previously about it, our education system has to grow young people who are exposed to entrepreneurial skills. They have to be taught how to create their own jobs. And so, as we look to our future, for especially our children and grandchildren, we have to reflect on whether our schools and the way we deliver education is really relevant. And so in my brief talk tonight, I want to say that as we look forward to reform of the education system, we have to start with the stressful things like the SEA and the CXC exams. Not every young person can take the kind of academic education. And so when we think about the skills-based approach to education, we realize that that is one of the things that we need to have integrated even from the primary school system. I remember going to primary school and we had to go to the kitchen garden, to the back of the school, and we learned about woodwork, and now you have a lot of things. Computer repair, reducing the e-waste, all kinds of things about recycling. And so I want to say tonight, we have to look forward now to the future and the kinds of jobs that will exist in the next 5 to 10 years when our young people are graduating. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Michael Dowlett, former principal of Naparima College. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thanks.
Standing on all protocol established, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reshmi Sbalak, and I am a graduate of the University of West Indies with a bachelor's degree in management study. Today, I'm honored to represent the Clappershad Sports and Youth Foundation as the Youth PRO. I am here to advocate for the allocation of funds in the national budget, specifically for youth development. Firstly, I would like to speak on investing in academic achievements. Funds should be allocated towards youth education, particularly for the critical period following secondary school. This juncture represents a pivotal moment in a young person's life, where their path forward often depends on their financial resources and educational opportunities. For those who can afford further education, attending university can open doors to a range of career opportunities and long-term success. However, for many youths who cannot afford university tuition, the options become limited, and in such cases, the lack of affordable education pathways can lead to economic hardship, and in some instances may push individuals towards criminal activity as a means of financial survival. To address this issue, it's crucial to develop affordable educational alternatives for those unable to pursue a traditional college degree. Investing in training programs and vocational schools, meaning educational institutions, focused on providing specialized, hand-on training for specific career, can offer practical pathways for students to gain valuable skills and certification at a fraction of the cost. These schools should prepare individuals for in-demand trades and professions, for example, electrical work, plumbing, and IT, equipping them with the practical experience and expertise that are in high demand in the job market. By providing these accessible and targeted educational opportunities, we can help bridge the gap between educational and employment, ensuring that more people have the chance to succeed professionally without the burden of extensive student debt. Secondly, I would like to speak on the impact of sports on character development and crime prevention. Investing in sports program is a strategic and highly effective approach to fostering the development of young people and in turn benefit societies at large. Sports and recreational activities offer more than just physical exercise. They play a crucial role in shaping character and instilling life skills that are essential for productive and responsible citizens. Investing in organized youth sports offer more than just physical activity. It builds crucial life skills, discipline, teamwork, and leadership. The commitment to training and competition fosters dedication and perseverance, teaching goal setting and problem solving. Engaging in sports not only strengthens resilience, but also provides a constructive outlet for energy, reducing the risk of criminal activity. Sports create a sense of purpose and belonging, forging strong social networks and support system. These benefits extend to improve academic and career success, cultivating a proactive and responsible attitude. Moreover, a well-funded sports program boosts community cohesion, lower crime rates, and foster a supportive environment. Supporting youth sports is an investment in both individual growth and the health of our community. I would like to end by saying investing in organized youth sports and academic achievement is more than just a financial commitment. It is a powerful investment in the future of our country. By funding these initiatives, we are not only nurturing discipline, teamwork, and leadership among our young people, but also providing them with vital opportunities to thrive. These programs foster resilience, reduce criminal activities, and build strong, supportive communities. When we invest in our youths, we are laying the foundation for a brighter, more successful future for our entire nation. Investing in our youths is without a doubt investing in the future of our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rishmi. A young woman was very brave here tonight. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Give her a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. And I want to build on what previous speakers spoke about, namely the chairman speaking about academics and also
Can you give us your name?
Devanan Harbakan, former teacher, curriculum facilitator, and lecturer in education. And I want to build on what you said, and my former student too, Gautam, and also what the opposition leader said about the academics and focus on the academics, and also the former principal of Naparima College. Now, what I want to say, and as I thought about this presentation, the idea of crime was foremost in my mind. And what I want to say is that when we look at crime, we can look at it from the point of view of laws, from the point of view of more police, but when that is not addressing the very root of crime. And from my experience as a teacher, curriculum facilitator working in the schools, I want to say that there is a direct link between school health and community health. In other words, what I'm saying is that if schools are failing, communities will fail. And it's a synergistic kind of relationship. If communities are failing, the schools in which they are located are also going to fail. Now, how I know that? I have worked for years in the schools. I mean decades in the schools. And I saw the correlation between community and school. What I did when I worked in the 80s and 90s, I took the common entrance result, not SCA results, common entrance results. And you could know schools because schools in Trinidad, most of them have names. And the names of the schools are, you could identify their locality, like Pinal Press. So I could point those schools on the Trinidad map. And those schools that I identified year after year after year, in fact, they have a history of underachievement. And today, when you look at those schools, where those schools are, you could actually see the correlation between crime and performance in schools. And I'm saying that we have to tackle it from the point of view of the school and the community. Now, I want to highlight one school. And I want to take this opportunity because I'll call the school's name. And it's my alma mater, and it is my village school, the Clark Road Hindu School. That school, and the principal just sent me a message last week. Sitaram, just been congratulated and informed by the SS2 that the analysis of the SCA results have been completed, and Clark Road Hindu School is the overall top performing school in St. Patrick Education District for SCA 2024. Now, I am asking, a rural school, a school that is, the catchment is of low socioeconomic background, how is it that they are performing? If we give them a chance to tell their story, what stories would they tell? And you see, we are not giving schools at the level of teachers and the practitioners, we are not giving them a chance to tell their stories. And so tonight I want to say that we talk about success. And if I ask you, what is school success? What is success? Is success passing for your first choice in primary school? Success is one's only? Is that success? If that is success, then you could see why we are alienating large groups of our children. Because success has to be defined differently. And when we define success differently, then we begin to see it is more equitable, it is more embracing, it is more supportive of our diversity. And we have to do that because we cannot deal with crime when some of us, we define success in a way in which some are achieving and many of them are failing. And so, what I want to do tonight is to redefine success beyond the SCA and beyond CSEC. And I want to say that I am thinking about 5 pillars of success. Yes. So the first one is academic success, which we know. The second one is art and culture. And students must be able to excel, not to pass exams, but art and culture. I'm thinking about Caitlin. Caitlin is already successful. You see, the singer. I am thinking about sports and PE, and the previous speaker mentioned sports and PE, so I would not go into that. But that is an area of success. The other area I'm thinking about is the area of volunteerism. And focusing on volunteerism give young people a chance to give selfless service. For example, we have the RBC Young Leaders, and we just had a volunteer group chatline where university students are volunteering to give mental health support. So that, and the last one is technology literacy. Long before children can develop little apps. They can sell the apps. They can market it because it allows them to experience success in different ways. And finally, I was asked to wrap up. Finally, we cannot do this without parental education. And I'm saying that we have to embrace parents. And I'm not thinking about PTA. I am thinking about a department of parenting that brings parent and focus on parental education, that parents become, we have to educate them. In other words, they say, show me a parent who cares, and I'll show you a child who can learn. So that we must embrace parents. So finally, those are my comments, and I'm saying that we have to rethink education, not in terms of remediation, but in terms of systemic changes in education. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harbukan. Thank you for your comments. Next person, please.
Hi, good night everyone, members of parliament, all the supporters. I'm here tonight to focus on a major factor about crime pertaining to farmers, right? So the factor is that with crops being sold out,
Please
we
give us
never...
your name.
My name is Shivam Ramdin. So the crops being sold out, persons now being able to reap the produce and bring it to the market to sell, which making a lot of people alienate themselves from the farming industry. And that is, by itself is not a good thing happening, because farming is like the backbone of the country, as we know from Caroni days. That's all I had to say, and I would like for my members of parliament to represent for me in the saying of the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Ramlin. Young entrepreneur farmer. Very important point with the crime affecting farmers, produce as well. Pretty larceny.
A pleasant good night to our Honorable Prime Minister, esteemed guests, government officials, and fellow citizens. My name is Kyle Ramjatan, and I attend Faizabad Composite as an upper 6th level student. I am truly honored to stand before you today as a Form 6 CAPE student to share my thoughts on the challenges that my peers and our broader community face, particularly in accessing quality education and securing a future of opportunity. Education is often touted as the great equalizer, a pathway to growth and personal development. In the 2023 to 2024 budget statement, our government highlighted education as a cornerstone for national progress, noting improvements in student performance and the expansion of digital learning tools. These are commendable achievements, but as someone who is still in the education system, I can tell you that challenges persist, challenges that have only been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the most pressing issues we face is the financial strain on families trying to provide basic school supplies for their children. While the government's $1,000 grant to 65,000 needy students is a step in the right direction, it is not enough. The frequent changes in book lists add unnecessary yearly expenses, making it difficult for families to pass on textbooks from one child to another. This results in the additional financial burdens that many families simply cannot afford. Further complicating this issue is the fact that only 23% of projected allocations were actually disbursed as book grants. This raises serious questions about the transparency and accessibility of these programs. How many students applied for the grant? What challenges did they face in the application process? We need answers to these questions to ensure that all students, especially the most vulnerable, receive the support they need. Our government must take action to make funding assistance more accessible for the vulnerable children in our country. From the earliest stages of education, measures should be implemented through government entities to better equip our children to excel without domestic constraints. Now let's talk about what happens after schooling. As a young person who has gone through 7 years of schooling, 5 mandatory and 2 at the A level, only to look ahead at university and on-the-job training, the prospects of unemployment is disheartening. The job market in Trinidad and Tobago has been scarce for over a decade. Many companies seem to hire based more on connections than on qualifications. For those who try to secure employment through their qualifications, the barriers are often absurd, with entry-level positions requiring years of experience and offering only minimum wage, a wage that barely sustains a healthy standard of living in today's economic climate. This employment crisis has a ripple effect. Knowing how difficult it is to secure a job, many young people are demotivated to focus on their studies when education seems to hold no guarantee of a better future. And it's hard to blame them. So what can be done? I believe that we need to allocate more funds towards creating job opportunities. This could include building more government offices, ensuring that existing workplaces are adequately staffed, and providing fair wages to employees. Moreover, the introduction of auditors for hiring personnel could help curb the practice of hiring based on connections rather than merit. In addition, we should consider strengthening trade unions by offering them incentives when a company loses a valid misdemeanor. Case in court, this would not ensure that companies are held accountable, but also create a more equitable job market. Finally, I want to emphasize that we must unite as a nation to become the change we want to see. We must translate our desires into actions and demand that the government provides the assurance that our country is in safe hands. Together, let us work towards creating a brighter future for all students and young people in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Tonight, I think the young people are really doing well. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Good day. Good night, ladies and gents, and Member of Parliament. My name is Kelvin Waldrop from the South District of Kua Road, Siparia. I would like to enlighten you all about the lack of job opportunities in this country under this present government. I've recognized for the past 5 to 9 years, young people are frustrated and stressed since there is no work. Parents are spending time, energy, and even the last to send their children to school that they may be qualified for employment. Hundreds of children are graduating every year with full CXC passes when we as youths finish our CXC level. The costs have become so high when we decide to further our education, with only selected few benefiting from the GATE program, poor manning. In our eyes as youths, crime seems like the easy way out and very much attractive. As the old saying goes, the devil looks for idle hands to work with. Secondly, I would like to touch on the agricultural sector. As a young farmer, a young entrepreneur doing farming, sometimes I feel like I'm digging a hole for myself, because with the lack of job opportunities and, the government is not intervening in the life of the young farmers and farmers in general, right? The Ministry of Security is not even functioning how they're supposed to. As my brother had said here, we are being alienated. We are living in fear to go and make garden, to make ends meet. I would like to thank you all, but what I'll have to say is that this is just a passing cloud, and the sun coming back out, and we're going back in power.
Thank you, young Kelvin Waldrop. Thank you so much, Kura Road, Siparia. More young people coming up.
Not so young. Good afternoon, Honorable Madam MP, and all personnel here present tonight. I'd like to touch on 3 points tonight. One is realignment.
State your name for the
Randy Ramtahal, and I reside in Barapo, a businessman from Barapo and a resident of Barapo. I'd like to speak on 3 points tonight. One is the realignment of resources. The government should really realign some resources and put it into specific areas. One is Barapo. Barapo is like a battered woman over years under the PNM government. We get nothing from the PNM government. And when we do get something, it's like we have to kneel on our all fours and say, thank you very much for giving us something. They gave us 2 bridges in Barapo. 2 bridges had to collapse in order for us to get that bridge. When we finally got the 2 bridges started work, there were 2 signs. One was July completion date, July 2024, and August 2024. July 2024 came and gone. August almost done. And they have not finished the piling as yet on those 2 bridges. August is going to end and school is going to open in September. And the traffic that is going to be backed up on a daily basis, just to get out of Barapo, is going to be over 45 minutes to an hour to get out of Barapo. When you have that happening every day, when you have to drop your kids to school to and from and go to do work as a businessman, to have your trucks traversing that road and getting kept back at that amount of time, it's very hard. It takes away from your life, it takes away from your pocket, it takes away from your family time. And when you can be doing other things with that, what we would like to ask the government to do is to realign its resources a bit. There's an alternative road that was opened by yourself, the old Tasker Road that comes through the oil field road. It's in a deplorable state, lack of maintenance. If they can just repair that road, it will ease the pain of so much citizens on a daily basis. The second thing is the upsurge in house and home invasion in every area, but in Barapo especially. You will see the crime is starting, there's a new trend of crime with house invasions. Recently in Kanhai Road had one. They called the police did not respond in time. Ian Allen had to take up the story and bring it to the media's attention. But what I'm saying is the police is swamped already. They have limited resources. give the people and give the business community and the citizens the tools to protect themselves, their homes, their family, and their businesses. Arm them with the necessary tools that is needed to deal with these criminals and protect their homes. And the third point, which is the most important point, you spoke of them, the 3 ships on they want to remove the 3 ships. In order to do that, Mr. Rowley, my third point is the most important point. I would like for you to call elections first and then go to the public and let the public vote you back on that point that you want to do. Because to spend $250 million to $500 million to do that in this time when we don't have money for infrastructure, we don't have money for security, we don't have money for health, that is the wrong thing to do right now. So that's my contribution for today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ramtahal. Next. Okay, I think we have 2 more speakers. 1, 2, I'm told. Okay, so please don't leave yet. We have 2 more speakers, and then we have some refreshments for you. So hold straight. Thank you.
Good night. Good night, everyone. My name is Derek Thomas. Special good night to the head table. Special good night to all the residents here, and special good night to the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamla Persad Bissessar. 9 years have passed and nothing has changed. Our youths are constantly dying. Our murder rate is getting higher and higher each and every single day. Does the government not care about the youths? Does the government not care about the poor people? Or do they just not care about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? They say the youths are the future. The youths are the next leaders of tomorrow. But all I can see are criminals. Where are the youth groups for the young people? Police youth groups, community sporting groups, social groups, community unemployment programs, and even culinary programs. They ask, why are the youths involved with crime, drugs, and guns? But they have nothing to do. I am a youth, and I am 26 years old. And I can tell you, we have nothing to do. We have no jobs. When we ask, it seems like no one cares. So if they don't care, if it says there's nothing for us to do, we go out on the roads and we find something to do. We go out on the roads and we try to help our parents. Don't blame us, the youths. Blame yourself. All I would like to say as I continue is, do you know that when youths are around each other, they tend to speak out more? Well, let's have youth platforms where the youths have a voice. Let's hear what the youths want. Let's build a connection with the youths and start to build, help, and take control of our young people. Instead of local government reform, focus on youth reform. Thank you.
A pleasant good night to one and all.
Good night. Well, this is our final speaker, so let's give him a chance, please.
My name is Siparia Rhiannon, also known as Ramchan, from Ramsing Trace, Rushad Road. I'm a farmer for most of my life, and I want to talk about encouraging youths into farming and agriculture. That has been going on because I'm from the Purai Lagoon, and years now most of the lagoon remain abandoned because of the encouragement. We should encourage youths into agriculture and farming. I have my last son, is a very successful livestock farmer. We should do more like that. Recently, he won a first prize in the Agri Expo in Port of Spain, right? So we should encourage more of that, because as we know it's time, what I would like to see is that no farming, no food. Think about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we give a round of applause to all the speakers tonight? Thank you very much. And we'll ask Nicholas to please wrap up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the Leader of the Opposition's pre-budget consultation. We remind you that she's the only leader with the vision, as you saw tonight, to save this country. So stand with your Leader of the Opposition, stand with your party, and let us stand together. Thank you very much.